to start with the video, I need to tell you guys that we were late by like 5 minutes. We were late by a little bit because we weren't on time, but that's okay. This video will be pretty loud, and so when she says to cover your ears, you guys should cover your ears. And this is another portion of our other video that we posted. The Museum of Science. This is the lightning show, and let's get on to the video.
It's heating it up and it's causing it to glow. But I think you all should really be able to see this filament, and I think you're ready for a challenge. What do you think? Okay, then go ahead and try this one. All right, you got this, Harper. Let's cheer on. You got this. Keep going it up. It's heating up. It's heating up. You got it. Keep going. Fill up those charges. There it goes. I see it. Okay, you got it. There it is. We got it. Round of applause. All right, you can stop pedaling, but last question for you. Which one was harder to turn on? The big one, yeah. So you had to do a lot more work, a lot more energy to move all those extra charges. But the bright side, thank you, is that we can light up a really bigger light bulb. All right, you can hop on down. One more round of applause for volunteers. Great job. All right, second half of my pop quiz. Shout this one out as well. Who invented the light bulb? Okay, I heard it pretty quickly. Thomas Edison, which is correct, kind of, in that he was one of the early scientists who worked on the light bulb. But as it turned out, the filament he had was not too good. It only lasted 15 hours, and then you would need to put in a whole new light bulb. So it was another scientist who actually came along and made a much more durable filament. Now, this person was a Boston native, which is kind of cool for us, and their name was Lewis Latimer. So let me tell you about Latimer. Like I said, he grew up here in the Boston area, and he grew up without access to formal education, but he had this great artistic ability for drawing. So Latimer got hired by really big name scientists, people like Alexander Graham Bell, inventor of our telescope, also Thomas Edison himself. And what Latimer did was draw the blueprints for their designs. And he sort of took it upon himself that he would learn all the electrical engineering behind those designs. So he taught himself that science. He then made a carbon filament. It was much longer lasting. It really made it possible for us to actually use light bulbs every day. And turns out Latimer had a ton of cool inventions. There's one more in particular I think is cool that I think a lot of us have used before, but I'm not going to give it away. So you can come up after the show and ask me. You can look it up when you get home. But for now, I do want to focus on the light bulb. Because I'm wondering, do any of you out there bike like this to power your legs? Anyone bike? Probably not, yeah. It would take a lot of work. So we plug our legs into the wall. That's how they gain all those moving charges, all that electricity. But there was this scientist with a vision for wireless electricity. And this was Nikola Tesla. So I'm going to show you what he had in mind. I'm going to dim our lights. We've got some Tesla fans up there, I think. All right, on either side of the stage, you see a Tesla coil, one of his inventions. And I've got a light bulb, not plugged into anything, totally wireless. But I'm going to bring it over to our coil. And it turns on. And if I take it away, it turns back off. So as soon as this light bulb gets close enough to our Tesla coil, it lights up. And let's make sure it'll work over here. There we go. So what's happening here? Well, this light bulb is a bit different than the bike one because it doesn't have a filament. But without going into a whole lot of detail, it does still require constant flow of negative charge to turn on. Well, turns out Tesla coils are great at giving us that because they make a lot of electricity. So, for example, the big Van de Graaff generator, you all probably saw it make 1 or 2 sparks per second. But these make 120 sparks per second. So that is just a constant stream of charge coming into the air, has to travel back down the air to get to the ground. Well, if I put my light bulb into the air, it can access all that wireless electricity, all those moving charges. But the vision that Tesla had was to power entire houses with this sort of technology. So you can probably imagine little ones, we're just not going to cut it. So he would need giant Tesla coils on every street corner, which is pretty dangerous. So we don't do that. But they are really cool inventions. It was the start of wireless electricity, and they can be pretty fun. So now, I'm going to introduce you to the Tesla coils I have behind the wires, like these two. These ones are bigger, but the other cool thing about them is that I can change how many sparks per second they're making. So I'm going to give you all a hint. More sparks per second makes a higher sound, and less sparks per second makes a lower sound. So maybe you have a guess about what those can do, but I will tell you they are loud. So I'm going to put my headphones on, and I would recommend you cover your ears. And here we go. Does anyone know what movie that's from? Star Wars, awesome. And as you can maybe guess, we call those our musical Tesla coils. They will be back in about 5 minutes for our finale, so stay tuned. But first, let's figure out everything we've done so far. Number 1, learned what electricity was, a bunch of moving charge. Then discovered how we could use that to our advantage in turning on light bulbs. But the last thing we set out to do was kind of figure out how to be safe from a lightning storm. But I think a lot of you know this. If there's lightning outside, where should you go? Inside. In a building, yeah. Get inside. Just avoid things like electrical wiring, water piping, anything that electricity could travel through. Now, what if maybe you had driven somewhere, like the park or the beach, and you don't see a building? Where could you go? Yeah. Go to your car. Now, does anyone know why your car is going to be a safe option? Okay, I hear 2 good options. This is what I always hear. I hear it must be the tires that are made of rubber or the metal frame. Well, to figure out which one it is, I think, like any good scientist, we should do an experiment, right? So I'm going to make a hypothesis that the metal frame of our car is what keeps us safe. Well, to test that out, I'm going to need a big metal frame, which I just so happen to have right behind me. I'm going to need to put myself inside the big metal frame, right? Because how else would we really test this? And then I'm going to need a lot of lightning, which I definitely have. Now, I'm going to make myself the tallest thing in our theater, just to make sure the lightning strikes this cage, and we can do our experiment. But as I'm headed up here, could you all give me some advice? What should I do or not do? Maybe get out while I can. I heard put my headphones on. Don't touch the metal. Does anyone think I should touch the metal? No. Okay. That was a pretty resounding no. So I'll take that advice, at least to start. But I will definitely be putting my headphones on. And at that point, I recommend you all cover your ears as well. Well, we are just about the height we need to be, so let's get our camera set up. All right. And headphones going on. And cross your fingers for me. Here we go. Well, I am very happy to report I am still alive up here. So it must be that the metal frame of our car is what keeps us safe. And this is actually all thanks to what we call the skin effect. Skin effect says when lightning strikes the cage, all that electricity, all those charges, are going to travel down along the outside skin of the metal, but only the outside. So I can touch the inside of the metal. I can even touch the inside where the lightning was striking and be totally fine. Now, if I grabbed the outside of the metal or maybe put my hand out of the cage, we would have had a slightly shorter show. So I'm glad I didn't try that one. But this skin effect will actually keep you safe in airplanes, in trains, anything that's enclosed in metal during a lightning storm. So just don't go for your convertible during a lightning storm. But it turns out that those rubber tires do not protect you at all. So let me come out and I can tell you why that is. All right, we can get our lights back. Well, a lot of people think that rubber tires should help protect us because rubber is an insulator and electricity has a hard time moving through an insulator, which is absolutely true. However, if that electric force is strong enough, it can still push or pull charges through an insulator. One great example is air. Air is an insulator, but if that lightning has managed to go through miles and miles and miles of insulating air to get to your car, those few little inches of tire are not going to really stand a chance. But don't take my word for it, I will prove it to you all. So in our finale, I'm going to raise this tire up, strike it with lightning.
Did you see
and
that?
you can see if that lightning passes through or not.
I got
The thing you're going to want to look for is at the bottom where those 4 white posts are. See if any lightning passes through those. But I guess without further ado, let's get to the finale.
Yeah, we got.
I'm going to start getting our machines warmed up. As they get ready for us, I want to thank you guys for coming, for being a really great audience. If you've got any questions after, please come on up. Just stay off the stage and I'll come to you. But otherwise, you can sit back, relax, if you can, and enjoy our Symphony of Sparks. Now, for the last time today, my headphones are going on, so please cover up your ears.